What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reviewing and breaking down The Flash Season 9, Episode 4. So yeah, guys, let's just get right into it. So the episode starts with a bunch of different shots of Mark, going to work, building parts for Red Death's cosmic treadmill, as we also get a better look at Ryan Wilder in the Red Death suit as well. You know, obviously last episode we found out that Red Death was Ryan Wilder. I mean, at least Team Flash found out. We knew that for a while. We knew that for a while. But then Barry and Iris think, they start to think that if Red Death is the new negative Speed Force avatar, she would want to kill Barry. But then they theorize that Red Death might not want to be the avatar, and that she just might have been corrupted by the negative Speed Force, just like Mina Dowen from last season. But then we see Red Death start to terrorize Central City, and this is where we see Roy G. Bivolo, aka Rainbow Raider from Season 1, and I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about him being in the season, but yeah, he ends up returning here, and then following that, Red Death uses the negative Speed Force to turn off the power in Central City, and obviously because of Rainbow Raider, Red Death is able to kidnap the Flash. We then see all the rogues standing in front of Barry, who is obviously kidnapped by the rogues leader Red Death. Then we see Chillblaine as well confronting Barry as he joined the rogues last episode, and I actually really liked what they were doing with Chillblaine's character, just sort of like turning him into a villain. I think he's a much better character when he's like a villain. But then we see Red Death talking to Barry, and Barry tells Red Death that he thinks the new negative, the negative Speed Force is simply corrupting her mind. Then Red Death says she thinks Iris is more valuable to her, and that's when I started to realize what was going on here. So let's just go over that. So Iris gets a knock at the door, and my theory of who it was, at the door was actually right. At least so I thought. It was a good version of Ryan Wilder. Like I said, that's what I thought it was. Meanwhile, at Red Death's lair, Red Death takes off her mask in front of Barry, and there's nobody under the mask. It just takes it off, and it's like a robot, right? And there's just nothing. And that's because the evil Ryan Wilder was actually with Iris, and she's not a good Ryan Wilder. She's the Red Death. So the Red Death was the one knocking on the door, knocking on Iris's door rather. So we also find out that Red Death has artificial speed, like God speed, and she basically needs someone with organic speed to power the treadmill, which is why she kidnapped Barry. So, it's starting to all come together. So yeah, we also finally figure out something very disappointing, and that is that Red Death is the Armageddon Batwoman from the Reverse Flashpoint timeline. So yeah, of course that means that, the multiverse will not be incorporated into this whole situation with the multiple Ryan Wilders, which is a bit disappointing to me. I really wish they, ended up doing that in this storyline. That would have been really cool to see them bring that back. Now, we also get a little bit of a Justice League reference when evil Ryan Wilder mentions she was friends with the Flash in the quote-unquote League, obviously referring to the Justice League, and obviously that would be taking place in her timeline. She also explains that, the Flash on her, in her timeline rather, started terrorizing people and just going crazy. And she also explains, she tried to hide out in the Speed Force from that Earth's Flash, or her Earth's Flash, I should say, and the Speed Force denied her, and obviously because she has artificial speed, and she was thrown into this timeline, which I guess makes sense. But the thing that's even more interesting is that she said in her world, the Flash was still causing terror. Obviously, in that world, Eobard Thawne was the Flash, so does that mean the Wells version of Thawne is still alive in that other timeline? Obviously, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, he's in that other timeline. he can't come over to this timeline. Well, I mean, Ryan Wilder just did it. And even though she has artificial speed, I still think it's possible that Eobard Thawne could come over into this timeline. So, I mean, I guess that could explain how he could return in the finale by those set photos we saw. So, it would be really interesting if he returned in that way. But I thought that was a crazy huge teaser and a pretty interesting theory. We also find out that Reverse Flashpoint Batwoman killed Reverse Flashpoint Iris, which is why that Iris couldn't talk that version of Thawne out of terrorizing her timeline. So that's why she wants this timeline's Iris, and to use the cosmic treadmill to go to her timeline with Iris to convince Thawne to stop terrorizing her time. So that's kind of a crazy plan, and I think it actually was done pretty well. I kind of enjoyed, listening to everything unfold. But then, Red Death brings Iris to her lair and starts to torture Iris, so Barry will run on the cosmic treadmill to open a portal for Ryan Wilder. And guys, it was cool to see Barry run on a cosmic treadmill, I have to admit. It really reminded me of the comics. That was so cool. But when Barry runs on the cosmic treadmill, there seems to be a negative speed force storm, which doesn't make much sense to me because Red Death, or anyone at the moment, isn't connected to the negative speed force. So eventually Mark turns on Red Death and shuts down the cosmic treadmill, and the good rogues, that being Goldface, Pied Piper, and the Hotness, show up to get Barry and Iris out of there, but not in time to save Mark. At least that's how it looks. Yeah, it looks like Mark dies, but obviously we know he doesn't die based on some set photos we got from the season finale. But then at the end, Red Death basically just vows to take over Barry's world because she can't get back to hers. So yeah, guys, that was about it for the episode. Now, a couple of things I still want to go over, of course. Red Death, I have to say, in this episode, kind of sucks without the mask on. I'm going to be honest. I don't really like looking at Ryan Wilder in the Red Death suit. So I think if they just kept her mask on more often than not, I think I would probably enjoy it a little bit more. And another thing I want to go over. So guys, with the Red Death confirmed to not be the new Negative Speed Force avatar, it's looking like that Flash Season 8 cliffhanger of the Blue Crystal is going to end up being true, and Cobalt Blue is going to be the new Negative Speed Force avatar whenever he ends up appearing. Obviously, he's going to be played by Rick Cosnett. He could be Eddie Thawne, could be Malcolm Thawne, but nonetheless, it's looking like he's going to be the new Negative Speed Force avatar, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they bring back Eddie or this Malcolm character, or, introduce this Malcolm character, I should say, and, incorporate that with the new Negative Speed Force avatar. So, yeah, now a lot to look forward to for the second half of Season 9. But, yeah, we got one more episode left in the Red Death storyline, and then some interlude episodes, and then probably, the new storyline will start in, Episode 9, I would assume. That's when the Cobalt Blue stuff's going to start. So, yeah, hopefully the rest of the season is pretty good, but, the season so far, I'd say it's all right. It's nothing amazing, but hopefully it picks up a little bit, after the Red Death stuff. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your thoughts on the episode. What did you guys think of it? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.